They're beautiful, they're mysterious, they're incredible works of art, these antique carousel horses, many of which have come in to be refurbished here at WRF Designs in Plainville. The WRF stands for William Richard Finkenstein. He started this painting/restoration business decades ago.
I would have never thought when I went to Pear Art School in New Haven that someday for a living I was going to paint horses, but it happened. 45 years ago, a man brought me a horse and stopped at the house, and I had a studio on the front porch, and he knocked on the door and he says, "I have something I'd like you to try to paint." And I did it, and the next thing I know, he brought me two more, and then I got a phone call from Stretch Norton from Lake Compounce. They used to own the park at that time, and he said, "Bill, I hear you're working on carousel animals." And I says, "I have." He says, "How would you like to do a whole carousel?" And that started it. From there, I went to New Orleans, from New Orleans to out to Great Falls, Montana to pick up a carousel and work on it. And it just has not stopped since then. Now, this all started in my living room.
His son Gabe joined the business at a very young age.
Gabe, you wanted to do this from a little boy?
Oh yeah, no, I said I grew up with carousel horses in our living room, on our porch. I was running around the shop, and I'm sure I was getting in the way like crazy, but eventually I guess it paid off, because now I'm doing it myself. And I said, I can't imagine doing anything else. I went to the same art school he did, and I graduated, and from that point on, I think probably well before that, I was going on the trips with you doing the restorations and the work.
I'm not horsing around when I say there are hundreds and hundreds of these antique carousel horses in this artist's warehouse, in addition to everything that you would see on a carousel. A percentage of the horses you see here are from Rye Playland in New York. They're in for a spa treatment. Some of these horses need new parts, others a new paint job. Whatever it is they need, they can get it here.
Over the years, a leg breaks off and it takes a walk by itself, and then we get the horse in and then we have to recarve that. So over the years, we've recarved pieces, we've carved new pieces, and in general, the idea is to put it back the way the artist originally intended and the way they would have originally loved to see it, and try to keep that history.
The paintwork is incredible.
In all of these figures, there's no airbrushing done at all. These are all hand painted like they were at the turn of the century. So all the blending and the shading from one color to the other is all done by hand. The silver is silver leaf. The gold is actual gold leaf.
There are stories behind some of these horses.
You see this horse with the tongue sticking out?
Yep.
That was an inside joke to the carvers. If they didn't get the money that they thought they should have gotten, or they didn't particularly care for the individual they were working for, they'd carve the tongue sticking out. And it was like, nah. You know, but it was an inside joke.
It's a nice piece of history. I love the fact that since we keep doing different rides, it fluctuates. We get different pieces in from different time periods, different carvers. There's all different carvers, and all of them had their own different style and unique way they put them together. And it's interesting through the time period too. You got when something got really popular in the medium, like a way a hair flowed, or a way a face looked, or a way something, you'd start getting the other carving houses trying to pull that into their style, and it changed some of the other styles around too. So it's really interesting, just the whole background and history of the figures.
A history they're trying to preserve.
I think if we were to say we had a mission, it would be to try to keep up the look, the feel, and the interest in making something that's an American piece of history. Keep that up for the next generation, and to keep it at the quality and the level it deserves. So that way other people in the future have the ability to enjoy it as much as we have working on it.
I have such great respect for the carvers that came here at the turn of the century, and look what they did. They didn't have the carving machines that we have today. They did it with brute force, with big arms and chisels, and the beauty that they gave us, and the talent. I don't think they ever considered they would last this long, and they have, and they'll go on another 100 years if we're lucky.
The horses not only have to look good, but also serve a purpose.
You have to make them a functional piece of artwork. So you can't just go about making it look pretty on the outside. You have to go do all the stuff to make it a solid piece and make it so that the people riding it are safe.
45 years of creative energy, and the horses keep prancing in.
It's just the art form itself has been so interesting, and I'm 74 years old now and I'm still learning. That's a neat thing to be able to say. It didn't get boring. It always had somebody brought you something uniquely different each time.